Good morning, dear all. As you know that our second chapter of geography, land, soil, water, natural vegetation, and wildlife resources is going on. In this chapter, we have learnt about land, the use of land. Then we have done conservation of land resources, landslides and all, mitigation mechanism, all these things. Then we have talked about soil and the what are the factors making important role in the formation of soil, degradation of soil and conservation measures and all. So then we have started our topic next, that is water. Okay, little bit part of this topic we have done, where we have done about water, introduction of water, problem of water availability throughout the world and all. Okay, so you can see that in your book one activity is also given. It's an rough idea how much water needed by a person daily basis. Okay, you can see drinking, cooking, bathing, flushing, washing clothes, washing utensils, gardening and all. Okay, so in total we can say that a person in need of 135 liters water per day, right? So today our discussion topics discussion is so conservation of the water, right? Increase in population results in water, we can say that water scarcity due to greater demand, right? If urgent steps are not taken to conserve water, what will happen? Most of the countries of the world, especially India, will face acute shortage of water, right? So some of the measures that can be taken for the conservation of the water, what are they? First, we can say that plantation of trees and other vegetation to be check runoff and let rainwater seep underground. Okay, so if we are going to plant trees and all, so the level of underground water can be increased, right? Second, water harvesting should be, we can say that, done in both urban and rural areas to store rainwater. Okay, so we can say that influents should be treated before they are drained into water bodies. So we should use, we should utilize proper rainwater also, right? Next is about sprinklers. Irrigation and drip irrigation should also be promoted, right? In the dry region with high rates of evaporation, drip or trickle irrigation is very useful because it is spreading more and more water, you know, more water in, as you have seen in our school, it is also our whatever, sprinkler is using. Okay, so we can say that sprinkler irrigation or drip irrigation should be promoted so that they can, with less of water they can irrigate the much area, right? Next is about, we can say that these all are the methods, because of them we can, conserve our water resource, which is very valuable for us. Okay, so the valuable resource can be conserved by the planned utilization and protecting the, we can say that, available resource from pollution also. It is very important that we make the best of what it is available to us in the economical manners. Means we should use whatever water as per our needs only, not we can see that more than that. Okay, what today's people are doing, they are wasting more, using less. Okay, so we can, if we will use these whatever methods we have done about, okay, so if we will use these methods we can conserve water, right? So next part is about natural vegetation and wildlife all over the world, right? Natural vegetation is controlled by the physical environment, right? So natural vegetation is simply, we can say that, defined as whatever plants that grow naturally in an particular area, that is known as natural vegetation. What is the meaning of natural vegetation? Plants grown in area naturally. Okay, so that is known as what? Natural vegetation, without the interference or without the interference of human. Okay, whatever plants are growing by their own, they are known as natural vegetation. The growth of natural vegetation depends on the climate, relief features of an area. We have already done about what is the meaning of relief, what is the meaning of climate and all. Okay, natural vegetation and wildlife are the greatest natural resource of the earth. Why? For example, plants give us wood that can be used as timber or firewood, right? There are several other uses of plants as well. They produce oxygen. First we need, okay, first and foremost need of ours human. What is that? To breath. Okay, so the plants produce oxygen, which is important for living, right? They are helpful in protecting soil from leaching. Leaching means what? Soil erosion. Okay, so they also provide natural habitat for animals. How? Natural habitat means shelter. They are providing shelter to the animals also. What? Plants, trees, in the form of forest and all, right? So because in forest so many trees are there, so many plants are there, different type of vegetation is there, right? So we can say that. Next, they help in storage of underground water also, as we have uh, done in the initial part of this chapter 5 minutes ago. Okay, so we get large varieties of commercial products from the trees, such as timber, rubber and resins. All these things we are taking from the trees, or we can say that natural vegetation. So in all these way, natural vegetation is very important to us. Different types of plants and animal living together, okay, under common in a environmental condition, okay, make a biome. Biome means where different types of plants, animals living together, okay, that is known as biome. Biome means all the ecosystems. Biome means all the ecosystems within a given geographical area. Okay, so they are living in same geographical area. Biomes are found on land as well as in the water also. So that is about biome, right? So this is all about natural vegetation. Okay, natural vegetation, it was the introduction of natural vegetation, right? So now we will talk distribution of natural vegetation. Distribution of natural vegetation. So we can say that the temperature and moisture, or we can say that these are the climatic condition, right? So temperature and moisture are the two main factors primarily responsible for the growth of any vegetation, any natural vegetation. These are two main important, or climatic conditions are main important part. Depending on these two climatic condition, it's it is making important role, right? So the variety of the vegetation of a particular place is depending only on climatic condition. Okay, so the major type of vegetation available in the world are grouped as forest, grassland and shrubs. So we can say that it is divided into accordingly: first forest, then grasslands, then shrubs, right? So some of the important types of forest are, have you talked about, I think in 6th class also, sorry 7th class also, what kind of vegetation is found on the earth. So tropical evergreen rainforest we have talked about, then second type, tropical monsoon forest, then temperate evergreen forest, okay, then Mediterranean forest, temperate deciduous forest, coniferous forest, tropical grass lands. Okay, so in this way we can say that the natural vegetation is divided. Okay, the natural vegetation divided into these types of we can say that forest and tropical forest, tropical monsoon forest, temperate evergreen forest, Mediterranean forest, temperate deciduous forest, coniferous forest, tropical grassland, and temperate grassland. So in this way the vegetation of the world is divided in these parts, okay, according to the climatic condition, according to the topography, okay, all these things are playing important role, and according to whatever the conditions are available on the particular place, according to that the vegetation is different than the other place on a particular place, right? So this is uh, next is about tundra vegetation, then desert vegetation. Okay, so little bit I am telling you about what uh, so it's already 11 minutes. So how the introduction part of natural vegetation we have done, how we can divide the division of the wild natural vegetation we will do tomorrow. So if I will explain now, the video will go very long. So it is better we will do it tomorrow. Till then, keep learning and take care.